Hey there, I'm Greg Finn.
And I'm Christine Zernheld, aka Shep.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock here on August 9th, 2019. Remember, you can catch our critically acclaimed Famous Friday news shows each and every Friday morning. We cover it all for you.
Yes,
you don't
we
even
do.
need to read. Just open your ears.
And if you do want to follow along with us, just check out our show notes. Head over to marketingoclock.com for all the links from today's articles.
And please subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Shep, first up this week, we're saying bon voyage to Google's Trips app.
Bye.
And coming from TechCrunch, Google is shutting down one of their more popular apps that they've made, one of their more popular services, Google Trips. And we saw a shift over to travel before, where you could go to google.com/travel earlier. At the time, Trips was still active. It is no longer. However, if you are somebody that had information like your saved places or notes that you had in the Trips app, you will still be able to get to that going to google.com/travel. If you go to google.com/travel, you should see a window called Trips. Or if you're logged in, you might see flights or something like that. There was some sad folks out there on Twitter. One of my favorites was from Subuyu, SUB8U on Twitter. And he said, "Rip Google Trips. You joined the list of apps that solve consumer problems, but didn't have direct monetization routes. Your trip has now ended." Sad face. So,
Bad news travels fast.
yes, I really liked what they were doing with Trips, by the way. It was a very helpful service. I used it, not a ton, but I did use it, and I'm going to miss it. And there is a light at the end of this tunnel, keeping on the Trips theme here, that you might be able to have your needs filled with Google Maps, as Google Maps will allow you now to pull in flight and hotel reservations and be able to have AR capabilities, which is what everybody needs when traveling, is to hold their phone up in front of their face and not look at real life here. But the reservations you can get to now in Maps, so most folks have that on their device, and you can simply tap on the three gray lines, according to Google, at the top left corner of your screen. Then you go to Your Places, and then you look for the Reservation tab. So if you were very tied to Google Trips, you can now use those simple steps. And then Live View is a new feature there. So again, if you want to hold your phone up in front of your face to see where things are, you can do that on your trips. Is that something you'd use, Shep?
I would hope not. I would probably get hit by a car or something worse.
Yeah, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like people are talking about Trips now more that it's gone. Like they didn't know what they had, and now I wish I had used it more. I didn't really get the opportunity. But I love the Disney World app.
I don't know what that is.
It's the app you use for planning your Disney trip, and you can have like all your FastPass reservations and your dining reservations and your hotel reservations. Everything's in there, and it's great.
Okay. I have used that. That was nice. Mm-hmm. And you can see, like you got the slot available here. I'm going to go claim that.
So for your kids, you could see like how long the wait is for the parking lot tram, their favorite ride.
Oh, I didn't know you could get that granular with it. Wow. All right. Google, step your game up on travel there. And additionally, there is one more travel-related item that is coming to Google, and it is the ability to find the best prices for your trip. And I air quotes that in case you weren't watching us on YouTube. And then on Thursday, Google said, starting today, you'll have the same insights for your itinerary, but you'll be able to see smarter pricing. So they will notify you if they think the price is good and that it will not go down any sooner. So the question is, why would you use Google to book your flights, Shep?
I do it all the time.
You do? Okay.
Well, actually, I use Google Flights to look at the prices, but then I always book it through the website.
Okay.
I monitor it, and then I go to the actual website.
Oh, see, I like that move. But if you are booking a flight between August 13th and September 2nd, you may want to head over to Google. Go to google.com/travel, look at your flights, and if they predict the price won't decrease for select itineraries booked between those dates, they'll guarantee the price won't drop. And if it does, they'll refund you the difference.
Oh.
But it's like only for 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah, just to create buzz about the announcement, I
think it's
guess.
just to get people looking at it and trying it.
Hopper's shaking in their boots. I love Hopper too.
Why do you love Hopper so much?
Because they actually will send you a notification when it's at the lowest price, which I think I heard that Google was doing that, but I haven't seen it in action.
Okay. I like the fact that there might be some intelligence behind it, saying we typically on average don't see the price going below that, but I like the guarantee. Mm-hmm. Make that more than just to the whatever it was, September 2nd. Make it till September 2nd, 2020.
And they're only doing with flights, not hotels. That'd be nice if they did hotels.
I didn't read the article in depth enough. I believe it was only flights, though. Okay, another thing that makes this whole thing a little disjointed in my mind is that when you're booking the hotel, you can go there and see everything, right? From google.com/travel. You can get information on the neighborhood, see all the pricing, and it's a nice looking experience. Then when you're ready to go on a trip, you then flip over from google.com/travel to Google Maps to access your travel reservations, explore the city you're visiting, or navigate from place to place. And again, from when you're ready to go on your trip, you can now use Google Maps. It's straight from Google. So it still doesn't seem like there's one spot to go. Mm-mm. And one issue for me is I just have that kind of stigma of maps that I'm going to use this to go somewhere. And I don't really feel like maps to me is this TripAdvisor experience, nor do I really want it to be a TripAdvisor experience. When I think of maps, it's like I got to use this to get somewhere. And that's just the kind of thought, will that change? Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know if I'm ever going to hop into Google Maps to explore a city and use that as that kind of trips feature or, TripAdvisor, basically.
I want something that knows my flight, knows my hotel, and tells me how I'm going to get from one place to the other, because I feel like that's the most annoying part.
You need an assistant. We got to get you an assistant. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We got to hop over to Upwork and get a personal assistant.
Okay. I think that'd be the worst job ever. But
You should just be snapping at them.
yeah.
No, I want the fast pass for the teacups. At 2 o'clock.
It's easy at Disney. They have the Magical Express. They just take care of everything for you. I don't know why you hate it so much.
I don't hate Disney. It's not, it's too artificial for my flavor.
Yeah. But you like Vegas.
Vegas is, I do like,
artificial.
Vegas is artificial, but it knows it's artificial. Vegas is a spectacle. You look at you're flying over a desert and there's just sand everywhere, and then there's mountains all over the place and more sand. It's like, where am I going? And then all of a sudden there's this oasis in the middle, and you're in France, and then you're in Italy, and then there's water shooting everywhere, and you're on a pirate ship. That's why I like Vegas, is because it knows what it is, and it just,
I don't know,
10x's it.
I feel like Vegas is Disney for sad people. Sad adults.
Sad adults. That should be the new slogan. Not what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Vegas, Disney for sad adults. And you can gamble in Vegas.
I don't want to. I've tried a couple of times. I got kicked off the roulette table because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not meant for Vegas. No, I wanted to just kind of, isn't it a saying, let the chips fall where they may? Like just sprinkle them around.
You can't do that.
They were like, were you aiming for this number or this number? I was like, I was just sprinkling. And they asked me to leave.
Yeah. You can't do that. The chips fall where you may.
Is that a different
saying.
game?
It's like a colloquialism or whatever that word is.
Well, I thought it was a real thing.
Okay. Well, hey, you're making it real. So kudos. What's next, Shep?
So next up, Pinterest is continuing their e-commerce push with a new personalized shopping hub that displays at the top of users' home feeds.
You know what I don't like? Hub. Why is everything a hub?
As a word?
It's like the shopping
hub. I kind of like it.
It's an experience.
3 letters. It's easy to say.
Okay.
Hub is more fun to say than experience. I like hub.
I don't know. Maybe it's because it seems, I don't like the word hubby. Where like me and my hubby came out. Do you call your husband hubby?
Unfortunately, no.
No. You should try. See how it goes.
His new nickname for me is, instead of Your Majesty, he says, "You're mad at me."
Well, he's probably right.
So the products highlighted in the shopping hub are curated from retailers' organic pins, which is really nice, and their catalog feeds. And retailers can upload pins via the catalogs, and their products will be distributed across Pinterest shopping surfaces, which include the new shopping hub feature, as well as other recommendation spaces and shopping feeds. So I feel like we have a story every week with a new e-commerce push from Pinterest. So it's pretty exciting for marketers.
Yeah, and all the stuff is really nice. It all seems like it's very beneficial, not only for potential advertisers, but mainly for users. And you're like, hey, I like this stuff a lot. Here's a recommendation. Why wouldn't you want that? It's not
Honestly, it makes me want to use it for. I feel like I have such specific taste with like home decor and clothes, and Google Shopping has no idea who I am, and they never give me good recommendations, and it's frustrating. So maybe Pinterest will do a better job.
How would you describe your home decor style?
I would just say both are like very juvenile and like frilly girl. Yeah.
Okay, a lot of stripes.
Pom-poms, frills.
Wow.
You know, things that are like fun to touch, like multiple layers. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, all right. I don't like the word decor either. What's with this?
Oh, sorry.
No, isn't it a weird word, decor?
It's kind of fancy.
Yeah, there's not a Q in that word. It should be decor.
Decor?
Decor.
I think decor is right.
I know, whatever. All right, something not as nice as what Pinterest has rolled out for us is an email that the Google Ads team sent to Gil Gildner. And this surfaced on Twitter, at Gil Gildner on Twitter, an email that was given to one of his clients by an account strategist on behalf of Google. Basically, Gil didn't want to do automated bidding for a specific client and had recommended against it. This account strategist named Rohit Mardwar had followed up to the client directly and said, this is Rohit, your Google Ads account manager tried reaching your agency to provide the important updates missing in the account. And that's exactly that's verbatim. It doesn't read right, but that's what it is. He said, they have denied to take down the update which might affect your performance. I request you to call me at the number given or schedule some time by clicking the link below. So basically, this account strategist on behalf of Google was trying to undermine what the agency had recommended to the client.
Not what you want.
Never what you want. These clients are paying agencies significant money to manage their accounts. And then when you subvert them into these wild goose chases that Rohit is suggesting, you're wasting time, you're wasting resources, and you just shouldn't be undermining an agency to begin with. Mm-hmm. But if you don't trust your agency that much that you're not following them and going off of somebody else's advice, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, the only issue is this is coming from what appears to be Google. And so that is one huge thing for me. All the time today, we got one previous client that we had launched a website for had said, we've got issues with the website and the way it was built from an organic search perspective. Here's a report. And we looked at this agency, we all chuckled. We had it in our Slack channel. We were picking this report apart, which was talking about crazy things like you don't have a robots.txt file and you might be having credit cards show up. And it's just like, what on earth is this report? But when you get this message from Google, it's a whole different ballgame. And so that caused an uproar. And I got in on it too. Mm-hmm. I hopped all over.
You always do.
This is something that ever since they've gone after some of our clients and tried to actually get in between us, it is infuriating because you want nothing more than your client to do amazing. Mm-hmm. And this specific client was not running until May. And their recommendation was turn this on in March. And we kept saying, you cannot turn this on in March. It will turn on in May when it starts running again. And it is none of these Google account strategists or whatever they call themselves have the customer's intent in mind. They're salespeople.
Right.
And to that point, Stephen Johns at Stephen Johns 21 on Twitter pointed out he found Rohit Mardwar, who was technically working on behalf of Google, but he wasn't employed by Google. Again, this is an investigative tweet from Stephen Johns, and he found him on LinkedIn being employed by Regilex, which is a third party that tries to help other companies like Google grow their customer base. So while they're working on behalf of Google, it does not appear from the data we've seen that Rohit actually is employed by Google directly. So this email seems like it's coming from Google. It's really from a third party trying to get more money out of the Google Ads customers. And that is what is so infuriating. And then, of course, the Twitter, I don't know how long you want me to go on this. I can go 6 hours on this topic if you want.
Just keep going, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so then the Twitter conversation turned into the fact that why is there nobody trying to help the help team? Nobody on the help team can do anything. Response times are not acceptable. Nobody cares. Most of the folks don't even know what the product is. People routinely do not know any single feature of what we're talking about. People call it Google AdWords the entire time. People don't know that Google is an Alphabet company. When I've mentioned that before, I'm saying I'm sure this is an to help increase Alphabet profits, but we really need to get this fixed. No idea. It's
crazy.
Insane.
And we have to deal with them enough as it is, like the people at Google. We don't want our clients to have to do it too. Like that's why we're here. So the fact that they're going behind our backs, that's kind of what it feels like.
Now, the other thing is, and this is the only saving grace, if you talk to any of these people, or if you're an agency and your client is sucked into one of these meetings, they should tell pretty quickly that this is nonsense. I've told this before on the show, but we had one client who had trying to take over the spend or give some recommendations, said, your agency is missing out on many issues. So we had to get on this call. We had to do this whole dance. And their biggest recommendation was for a Times Square-based company to not advertise in the 1001 zip code, which is Times Square. It is Times Square. That was their number one recommendation, was not to advertise there.
Did they say why? That makes no sense.
Shop. I'm a broken man at this point, thanks to Google Ads.
I just want to know. That's a horrible story.
So there was obviously a lot of, I'm just going to keep going on this until you yell at me. But more people commented, and it wasn't just Gil. So Anna Gildner, maybe related to Gil Gildner, just thought of that right now, rocket scientist over here. She said, my main issue is not the fact that they emailed the client. The issue is that you had recommended something we don't think is a good idea and then went behind our back to someone who has no idea what they're asking to implement a change just to meet the change quota. So then Hannah Moyer responded saying, just did this last week. I told a rep that I wouldn't make one of the changes because it goes against our strategy for said client, and he had to strongly discuss it with her. Wasn't expecting that much pushback.
I think the worst part is the wording, that they make it sound like the agency is doing something wrong.
Yes, and they have this power by saying they're on behalf of Google, and that's the problem. And this should be disclosed that they are not Google employees. That has to be disclosed. It is disingenuous to say that when they're only trying to get automated bidding to hit quotas again, if it is factual that Rohit works at Regilex, that is a third-party company trying to grow a customer base. You should be trying to help your heckin' advertisers, not to grow the customer base. That's what you should try to do. Try to help, not grow it. Help them. Help them grow their business.
Google.
Okay. I think I can be done there. I had more stuff, but we're just going to go on to the next one. And at this point, it's usually time for our take of the week, but not this week. We're moving it down in the show because there's more context, more outrage, and we have to define it first in the lightning round.
Pew, pew.
So let's get to it.
At this point in the show, we split up our content into two parts, paid and
non-paid.
I cover everything to do with advertising, aka paid, and Greg covers the organic, or
non-paid.
Here's what's happening in the paid universe this week. First up, Google Ads introduced the new account map for manager accounts this week. This is a tool that helps you quickly visualize your account structure and view performance metrics all in one place. It shows you your manager account and all the sub accounts kind of mapped out.
It's really nice.
It is.
And this is something that you always forget. I think I used it as my hardly working hard a few weeks back. I don't even know if the name of our own segments. But you need to like look at who's got access to everything all the time. And this makes it clear.
I think that's the nicest part about it. And I kind of liked it just because it's more spread out than looking at all the accounts in the drop-down menu. And it's one less click. So I did change my bookmark of Google Ads to this page.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just because the drop-down menu is one extra click. So why not avoid it? But I will say I didn't see the performance metrics broken out by each of our sub-accounts in each of our accounts. I only saw like a total of all of Cypress North's accounts. Like
okay, I didn't play around that
millions
much.
of clicks, which why does that matter? In the example Google showed like this account has this many clicks today, this many conversions, which I think would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it working so far, but maybe I'm missing something. But I think this is nice. I used it as my bookmark, yeah.
Yeah, anytime you can give us more insight quickly, we'll take it. Thank you, Google Ads, for implementing that.
You're really changing your tone on Google all of a sudden.
No, I love Google. I love Google Ads. I don't like the way they treat their customers. I don't like it. I don't like the way they treat agencies. I don't like the way they dumb everything down. I don't like the way they mislabel things like exact match now and phrase match. I don't like the way they take control away from stuff. I don't like being treated like a baby, and I don't like being treated like garbage.
It's a complicated relationship.
I feel like I'm in a one-sided relationship where they're trying to shake me down, empty my pockets out, and be done with me.
Maybe that's true. But when they do nice things like this, it's hard to walk away. We could never walk away.
Okay.
Next up in paid from David Cohen, Spotify Ad Studio introduces interest targeting and real-time context targeting. Interest targeting lets brands reach Spotify free users based on activities and topics they are passionate about, determined by their podcast, playlist, and platform preferences.
Wow, the 3 Ps.
I took that right from the article. It's very nice.
Also, I listen to some weird podcasts, and you kind of make some assumptions about me that might not be true. Like,
really?
I listen to a lot of like football podcasts, and guess what? I don't go play football.
But you watch football. Or do you not?
I don't even watch football. That's a weird thing. I just listen to podcasts.
I was thinking today, Spotify is mainly a music, they're very music forward, but you probably know more about the users from their podcasts, not their music choices.
I guess so. But okay, so we like that new podcast
The Clearing.
So what are they going to be like? Oh, this guy is a serial killer.
I don't know what they'd advertise to me.
Look at Greg. Let's advertise to Greg, that psycho.
Maybe I don't know.
I mean, documentaries? I
Some
get
nice
it.
pillows
Cool.
so I can sleep better at night, knowing there's
maybe a home
Edward and
security
Wade
alarm.
Edwards
Maybe
in the
it's,
word. Oh,
you get a
yeah.
Simply Safe ad
That's a good
coming up.
thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's lock your doors.
And then they're also introducing real-time context targeting, which helps advertisers reach Spotify free listeners while they are streaming at specific moments during the day. So the one example they gave here was dinner time.
Which is a terrible example to give. If you want to reach somebody, you don't want to reach them at dinner time. That's like the stereotypical thing. Oh, it's the telemarketer calling during dinner.
That's so true. I didn't think of that.
You know? Like, what are you going to be like?
Food?
Oh, want some dessert?
Yeah.
Like,
or
what are you going to
McDonald's
say?
again. I always just think
But
of
you're
McDonald's.
already eating at that point.
And this just made me think more about the whole free plan at Spotify because it's very confusing to me. I want to find listeners. Please tell us. Does anyone have the free plan?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, so this says you can skip songs.
Yes, you can skip songs.
But some playlists can only be shuffled. Is that right?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I have an idea. I think they should take notes from Hulu. Spotify Premium is $10. They should have a $5 level with ads, but none of this shuffle nonsense.
You know Hulu's going away, though.
Well,
it's being consolidated in one Disney plan. I use Amazon Music because it's free and I'm a Prime member.
Oh.
Are you a Prime member?
I am.
Okay.
Amazon Music is free?
It's free and it's awesome.
We should be getting paid by these people.
Okay, well, hey, that was your Music Minute here on Marketing the Clock. What else do we have, Shep?
So next up from Jennifer Cannon at Search Engine Land, Microsoft has acquired e-commerce advertising platform Promote IQ. So this is an automatic product marketing platform that enables brand manufacturers to run sponsored ads on participating retailers' e-commerce sites, including Kroger, Kohl's, and Overstock.com.
I never understood why any of these e-commerce sites run ads.
I don't either.
Why not
but
just
I've
run
seen
ads
it.
for yourself, man?
I've seen it. And as a user,
I know. Amazon even does it sometimes.
I've purchased things because of this before.
You have?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'll be on Target looking for sandals. I'm pretty sure Target does this.
And you just get off over to somewhere else.
Yeah. The exact sandals
Wow.
I'm looking for. But it does seem weird.
It's crazy. It's
I guess
crazy to me.
You're making money from the ads, but still. They also offer analytics dashboards that allow retailers and advertisers to track campaign performance. And after the integration is complete later this year, Microsoft advertisers will be able to place ads here in addition to Bing.com, which will expand shopping campaign reach and help Microsoft compete with Google and Amazon. All good things.
Oh, Microsoft Advertising, the platform formerly known as Bing Ads? Nice.
And next up, Google officially launches gallery ads in beta. Have you seen these yet?
Yes.
They look really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. We have one account that's got them.
Yeah, I've only seen it in that one so far. So these were first announced in May at Google Marketing Live, and they're swipeable image-based search ads. That's crazy to say. That appear at the top of search results and can include 8 images each with a unique caption.
Yep, and it's mobile only also.
Advertisers can also add a CTA button at the end of the gallery, so be sure to check out all of your accounts because this is in beta in some of them.
Yep, and if you just hit that big blue plus button, you'll be able to create a new ad, and it should show up there, and it currently has a blue new right next to it.
And finally, Facebook ad network outages are baffling frustrated clients. So this article basically is just interviewing a lot of really angry advertisers complaining like we do at the office all day about how often Ads Manager crashes. And it just is not good.
Do you have issues with Ads Manager?
Okay, here's my thing. I don't even notice when it's crashing because it's just so like counterintuitive the way it works to me that I just feel like it never works.
I just had to download Firefox to get it to work properly because I had to just give up with it on Chrome. I removed all my extensions. I couldn't get it to load. I had to go to incognito mode. I messed something up in my account. I don't use Facebook. I had all these issues, and now I had to finally go. I downloaded Firefox this morning, so I could get in there and try to stop it from crashing.
Did it
so
work?
much. Well, it's TBD at the moment.
I never know if it's crashed or if something just doesn't work the way it's supposed to or there's a new rule or what. I've had to upload ads like from a spreadsheet and it's worked before because it wasn't working in the platform.
How do they not have a desktop client at this point? How is there not a desktop client? That is one of the most amazing things for Google Ads is how intuitive that software is and how amazing and easy it is for advertisers to spend more money, make more ads, and do more. How is there not a desktop client for Facebook ads?
I don't know.
It's insane.
I wish we could just all leave it.
Yes.
Like every advertiser in the world, just stop using it, but we can't. Such a heck show. And that's all for me. Over to you, Greg.
All right, this week in non-paid, we are going to start with an article on the information from Alex Heath. And Instagram and WhatsApp are changing their names, Shep.
Instaface?
No, that's good though. It's actually going to WhatsApp.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
No, it's not. It's actually going to Instagram from Facebook and WhatsApp from Facebook. This was picked up. We saw it on theinformation.com. Widely reported. But they've been doing this for other things too, Shep. Other products.
They have?
Yes. One of the most important products here in Marketing O'Clock has changed as well. Portal from Facebook is also what you'll see when you go to the Facebook portal sites.
Oh my God.
So if you wanted to see, everything appears to be changing. Although Oculus still is called Oculus. If you go to the bottom of the page, it says from Facebook on there, but the branding isn't that. But if you actually look at Portal, it's now Portal from Facebook.
Just makes those apps sound less cool.
I know. I would love to know the backstory as to why that happened. I'd imagine there's something to it from a monopoly or some standpoint or legal standpoint. But in other uncool news, Yelp is screwing over restaurants by quietly replacing their phone numbers.
Do we say screwing on this show?
Yes, that does not get you an explicit tab. And that is the actual name of the article from Adrian Jeffries. I did not add anything to
Great
it. I'm
title.
just reporting. I'm just giving you the facts here, folks. And first off, did you read any of the article?
I did.
I bet you liked the first sentence.
I don't remember it.
This article is part of an investigation with Understood, a podcast that explores stories the internet missed. I feel like this is you.
Yeah,
You
I should
be-
find it.
If I had to think of a podcast for you, that would be Investigative Journalism into the Internet by Shep.
I found myself on an investigative journalism podcast this week and realized after 5 minutes of listening that it was the AARP podcast.
These hearing aid batteries don't pass the test.
It was about like a scam where people wrote, like a psychic was writing letters to people's grandmas with dementia and taking their money. It was a horrible story.
Oh, great. But in case you know, Shep consumes everything and anything to do with true crime or undercover.
I don't know about anything.
I mean, I've listened to some of the stuff you listen
Yeah.
to. I'd say anything is fair
Okay.
verbiage for your taste.
I don't like gory pictures.
What podcasts have gory pictures? It's audio, Shep.
Oh, right.
All right. Well, anyway, Adrian was ordering something on Yelp, and when she went to go order, two options popped up: delivery or takeout, and the other option was general questions. From the article, that's new. I thought. I dialed the number delivery or takeout, and then she goes on this fact that it's recorded for awesomeness, and that number is being routed through Grubhub. And Yelp has a partnership with Grubhub, and so by passing people through Grubhub, they get a kickback on the sale from Grubhub. Grubhub makes a kickback on that, and guess who's cut out?
The restaurant.
Exactly. Huge issue here, and it's just another reason why you should never rely on something you don't own.
That's not cool.
It's terrible.
I guess this should have been in the paid section.
Yeah, it should have been WTH section is what it should have been.
Very true. I feel like all of our stories could be in the WTH section lately.
Well, let's keep it local here. And this is from Greg Sterling over at Search Engine Land. And the name of the article is Review Counts Matter More to Local Business Revenue Than Star Ratings, According to Study. I just thought of one word, yuck. Like, you just want more reviews? That's what it is? I don't buy that.
Nobody's going to read that many reviews.
No. And when I see somebody with a ton of reviews, and I'm probably jaded because I'm in the industry, I think it's all spam.
Yeah.
It's all spam. I was looking for an eye doctor or whatever they're called. Ophthalmologist? I don't know. My eyes are bad. And I looked at somebody had 59 reviews, and I started looking through it. And I'm like, I don't even know. These all look fake. Mm-hmm. And so they're not getting my revenue.
And I never trust them they're not going to put a bad review at the top. They're going to pick
in Google,
and choose.
you don't have the option necessarily to do so.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't believe it.
Okay.
When I'm out in the wild.
Well, that's what you see a ton, and that's what I think is one of the problems with reviews in general. I mean, it could be something like Glassdoor, it could be like Google reviews. What happened, I mean, even Amazon, you get crushed if you are found out that you are putting fake reviews on things. And I think more companies should take that Amazon approach where what'll happen many times is you look at something like Glassdoor and you're like, oh, this company looks legit and this might be a great place to work. And then you actually scroll down and there were 5 reviews in 5 days after one really bad review or something like that. And I don't know. But I guess, hey, man, according to this article, just get more of them. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Who cares about the star ratings? All right, keeping it Google. Googlebot Evergreen rendering in our test tools is an article straight from the webmaster's Google blog. And Google has updated most of their testing tools to use the Evergreen Chromium renderer. If you haven't followed along here at Marketing Clock, that is the most recent version of Googlebot that can run JavaScript and basically render pages more like a human would see. So if you're looking to use these tools, you can now see the Googlebot Evergreen within Search Console URL inspection tool, the mobile-friendly test, rich results test, and the AMP test. So may your testing and your profits always be evergreen. All right. Next up is a new innovation from Google. And we saw this from Technicity. Abner Lee. Great name, by the way, Abner.
Wonderful name.
Reminds me of baseball.
I had a teacher, Miss Abner. She was nice.
And he had an article on 9 to 5 Google talking about Google Question Hub collects unanswered search queries for publishers, now in beta. I saw this and I thought it was like an Onion article or something, but it's real, and it's actually on the Google India blog. There's a new product called Question Hub where users can let Google know when they haven't been able to find the content that they're searching for. And it's like a Q&A on Google. It reminds me of Facebook questions from back in the day, where you could ask questions and then Facebook just got rid of that whole thing. I cannot believe that this is a real thing.
Maybe we'll find out what happened to John Bonet.
There you go. Ask that question. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask in India at the moment, which is the only issue, is there's a little distance between the locations. But who knows? There might be somebody that's really got it there. But it currently only appears to be in India. And there is also a wait list that you can join to be notified when Google launches Question Hub in your country. All you have to do is submit your email and country in the wait list. Click through the show notes if you want to jump in there. I think this is a terrible idea. It also seems like they're teaming up with journalists and bloggers to get this done. If anything, I want real people. It's like, give me the cure. Are you trying to make Cura here? Then make me a real Cura. I don't want just publishers and bloggers answering this stuff. And then, so you're a publisher and a blogger and you've got all the answers to these hard questions nobody can answer. So you're just going to give it to Google, and then you're not going to talk about it on your site, and you're not going to answer these tough questions, and then you're putting it on the hub, and then Google is going to get the traffic? Is that what's going to happen?
This seems very weird to me. I want to know more. There's something they're not telling us.
Yes. Ask that question. Head on over to Google Hub in India at the moment.
Why did you do this?
And see if you get a good answer. All right, next up from Barry Schwartz over at Search Engine Land. Google is adding Playable podcasts directly in the search results. Shep, I like this. I love this, actually. If you are a podcast that is hooked into Google Podcasts,
which we are.
Oh, Market and Clock, of course, is. As you fine folks out there probably know, you will have the ability to have your podcast be playable from the search results. It doesn't actually play in the search results. It takes you to a Google Podcast page at the moment, from what I saw. But we are listed, and anybody in Google Podcasts should be listed. And it's another great reason to pay attention to Google Podcasts. Everybody always says Apple. Now Spotify's been on the scene, I guess. It used to be Stitcher. Hey, try to get people on Google Podcasts. In all likelihood, is it, again, if from what we've seen with reviews, the quantity of them matters to revenue, hey, maybe getting some of those Google Podcast listeners or subscribers could also help.
This is awesome.
Something to consider. Another big change happening over at Google is image search has a revamp. There's a new image preview box that is featured on the right-hand rail. This allows you to keep scrolling while having the image selected on the right, and we'll have to see how this affects website traffic. Is it going to be more? Is it going to be less? I personally probably think less, because you're going to be able to keep scrolling while you've got an image pulled up. And I would tell you to go look at your traffic in Google Analytics and see if it's been a net positive or net negative, but you can't, because they said they were going to have that occur, and they took that away. So who knows?
Thanks,
Who
Google.
knows if that's going to have an impact on you? Something that has been substantially impacted is Pinterest revenue. This past quarter, it jumped 62%, and the monthly active users reached 300 million. This is the biggest increase in users quarterly over the past year. And one thing that, I guess this is just how the companies exist, but they said, oh, everything is up. We've got the highest number of users. We've got a net loss of $1.16 billion for the quarter.
Womp.
Like, it's just, and the stock is up. And that's just one of those things. I'm sure there's a ton of rationale behind it. It's the lowest loss they've had. It's heading towards profitability. Yada, yada, yada. You lost $1.16 billion.
Little footnote at the bottom.
Okay. Something that we've all lost is our privacy, Shep. And Rob Price over at Business Insider did an expose. That's a word I love, expose.
Okay. I like that one too.
It seems like expose, but you just read it fancy. Expose. Where he found that some lax privacy led to millions of users' physical locations being tracked. Their stories were secretly saved. And this was all under the guise of being within Instagram rules. It's not, but it was all public information.
Not what you want.
No. The best yet, this occurred by the San Francisco-based marketing firm Hyper. Of course, you can't spell anything correctly, so it's HYP3R. So there's a 3. It's a very elite name. But they were able to scrape all of this user data and make all these different personas with it. And this is from the firm. They said publicly they have a unique data sets of hundreds of millions of the highest value consumers in the world. And 90% of the data came from Instagram. Now, Instagram from Facebook said Hyper's actions were not sanctioned and violate our policies. As a result, we removed them from platform. But before this occurred, they were a Facebook marketing partner. So Facebook had actually given them their stamp of approval. Not anymore. Now, Hyper clapped back. They said, for, quotes, Instagram to leave these endpoints open and let people get into this back channel sort of way, I thought it was kind of hypocritical. It takes very little effort for Instagram to protect the location data accessed by Hyper. Why haven't they done it remains a mystery. Hey, you know what you're doing is against what users want. I get it. You can do it. Now, bye. You're off.
Instagram should be better too, but that doesn't mean they have to be so sketchy. Come on, yes. Hyper.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's keep it on the leaky side. And from TechCrunch, Natasha Lomas has an article called Twitter Fesses Up to More Ad Tech Leaks. And Twitter had 2 issues lately. And it's kind of a first of sorts in a way. And the first issue is there was some user data that was shared by locations from an ad measurement. Basically, if somebody had hit a cookie, there's information could be given if they didn't agree to it. And that was fixed on August 5th. They didn't specify when it was found on Twitter's side. The second thing is that in September 2018, they served targeted ads that used inferences made about the user's interests based on tracking their wider use of the internet, even when the user not given permission to be tracked. Now, this bug suggests the leak of data was happening in May 2018, which is when the GDPR hit in Europe. And the GDPR mandates disclosure of data breaches. What will be interesting here is to see when Twitter announced the data breach, when they knew, and how it coincides with any tracking as to when they announced it versus when they really knew it. This is one of the first big things out there that is a data breach that was knowing, and did they disclose it fast enough? As everyone knows, the GDPR has some pretty hefty fines.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how this goes. But I guess the moral of the story in these last 2 articles is nothing is private. Anything you put out anywhere you go, if you got your phone on, you're checking in places and doing all this stuff, it's going to be public. If you want to be actually private, leave your phone at home and live life.
Yeah.
You don't get the cool Google Map AR to make your vacation the sweetest thing ever.
Just don't leave your house.
Yeah, just stay at home. There you go.
I got a note from my grandpa once that said, trust no one, don't go anywhere alone, men are evil.
Wow.
That's all you have to remember.
Until the end, I was like, is that David Duchovny? Trust no one? Well, men are evil. I like that. I like how he's a man, and
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, men are evil.
It was in my college graduation card, so
Okay.
always optimistic.
Wow. Well, thanks, Gramps, on that. Next up is another issue, but no data has been lost except your indexing from Google. And Google webmasters tweeted out on Thursday that they were aware of reports of indexing issues. Basically, they stopped indexing many sites on Thursday, any new indexing of new pages. And related to this, there are issues in the URL inspection tool within Search Console. This was fixed on Thursday, but we've seen this quite a lot lately. Lots and lots of Google bugs on the indexing side, on the news side, on the Search Console side, on the tools side. Yep. If you are impacted by this, though, however, there's a fantastic Google Doodle on July 4th. You can play baseball.
Oh, man.
So go check that out.
I missed it.
Yeah. Well, hey, you're not indexed, but go check that out. All right, and last up here is an article from Matt Southern at Search Engine Journal, and the article is called Google's John Mueller, No Benefit to Marking All Outbound Links as No Follow. I'm going to try to explain this very, very succinctly for those maybe non-tech savvy listeners. The quick explanation, as quick as I can make it, is that Google has a link issue where links are a big value for their search engine ranking, and people had tried to manipulate this. Again, for all you layman listeners out there, what Google had implemented was a no follow that you could put onto a link. A rel equals no follow. And by doing this, it would be called a pink link or other names for this link that wouldn't pass any value to where you're linking to. For a lot of blog comments and things that you don't really vouch for, you could use a no follow and you wouldn't just have to shut your blog down basically and shut your comments off. Additionally, if you had something you wanted to share or it was paid or sponsored, you could still do so. You just wouldn't pass any value to that advertiser. They wouldn't see it as a paid link. And Google had a huge crackdown on paid links. So a no follow link does not pass any value. What's called now a do follow link, or for normal humans, a link passes value out. So hopefully it makes it clear. So somebody asked John Mueller, should I just no follow everything and not pass any value out of my site and just hoard all my value on my site? And he said, no, don't do this. That's definitely wrong. It's definitely not the case that if you use normal links on your website, you would rank any worse than if you put no follow on all outgoing links. I suspect it's even on the contrary, that if you have normal linking on your page, then you would probably rank a little better over time. Essentially, because we can see that you're part of the normal web ecosystem. So that's the end of the lightning round. John Mueller is saying, don't no follow everything and try to hoard all this value yourself. Okay, and that brings us to this week's Take of the Week. This is a saucy #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. And this week's Take of the Week comes from Martin McDonald at Search Martin on Twitter. And it is in regards to that last story. So on Twitter, there's a fairly big argument about this, right? Google is saying, don't no follow everything. And Martin McDonald said, but John Mew, and that's his Twitter handle, is talking from a purely academic, technical SEO point of view. In reality, no-follow links on a large publisher website is the easiest way to cut down on content producers selling links on your site without policing every single article. We're going to get to the take here in a minute. So Martin's point is, great, yeah, but if I don't want people to sell links, I could just no-follow everything. Users wouldn't know. There's no difference between the experience they're going to have. And then any of my writers I have writing all these different content pieces, I'm not going to have to police them. So then it led to a huge discussion. Somebody had responded, that type of laziness should also be penalized.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Martin clapped back saying, not at all. One of my clients has thousands of journalists and thousands of articles published daily. They used to appear in those spam emails selling links. Added a blanket no follow and that stopped. Sure, I'd love to police every single link, but that is not practical. It's a great point. So then it got into a conversation between Martin and the Ryan Jones. And Martin said, human nature, Ryan, human nature. Let's say you've got thousands of journos and at least one of them is going to be swayed by some beer money. Easier to no follow the lot. And I've kind of jumped in on a conversation here. Ryan said back, but choosing to do the quick, easy thing should affect your credibility and trust over doing the hard, better thing. Martin then said, well, when Google decides to punish the sites that blanket no-follow, we'll take it seriously. Until then, I'm not adding additional overhead to please the link builders. Then Ryan Jones said, I understand the business need, but I think Google should and one day will punish PageRank black holes. If you refuse to link out as a news site, you shouldn't get rewarded for that. And Shep, this is the take of the week. Martin responded by saying, why should news sites be forced to police Google's algorithmic shortcomings?
End scene.
Why should we do all the work for you? If your algorithm is broken... Oh, sorry, this is not my take. That's my inner Martin coming out.
You can agree with the take.
Martin was fired up.
Yeah, Martin was fired up. This went on and on. Like, I spent half an hour today.
And there was a lot of respect between everybody, which is the best part of it. But, yeah, hey, figure out what's a paid link or not. Or, hey, maybe don't use links that much.
That's not Martin's job.
Yeah, it's not Martin's job, Google. It's your job. Fix
Martin
your
doesn't
algorithm.
work for Google, just like that third-party guy in the beginning of the show.
Rohit?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that brings us to our real life segment.
Straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes.
It's time for Working Hard
or Hardly Working,
where we talk about what is going on in our IRL work.
Good,
bad,
or otherwise this week.
Shep, what's been happening with your accounts lately?
So we have a client that's focused on e-commerce tourist-based ticket sales. And at the beginning of this year, we looked at conversions by device. And no surprise here, mobile was really leading the way. So in June, we broke out our campaigns, which is something we do here a lot at Cypress North, giving one campaign entirely to mobile devices and another to desktop and tablet. So they could each have their own dedicated budget. And the mobile budget wasn't getting eaten away by desktop and tablet. And this is like a best practice here that we do a lot, but I've never kind of made the change and seen it work so well, so fast. And all of our conversions just really took off right away because the mobile ones obviously took off. They're not getting their budget eaten up, but then desktop took off as well because they had their own dedicated budget. And in July, mobile conversions from PPC campaigns made up 84% of all our PPC conversions. So
wow.
Yeah, something we do a lot, but it was just a good reminder to see it in action.
And that's awesome. And we're doing an audit for another client, and it's a similar scenario where we've got this one account, and mobile is bid down 90%, and the ROAS on mobile is substantial. It's actually beating desktop and crushing tablet, but there's this fear that mobile could take over, and where it makes sense, we break it out many times.
It's like a bid adjustment on steroids.
Right. And again, this was not a smart bidding type scenario. It was not. It was a enhanced CPC in the example I gave, at least. All right. And one thing for me that is hardly working is the Google Advertiser community. I love the advertiser community. You can go on there and see a bunch of conversations. It's a forum for advertisers. Many questions are already answered there. You can find I had a problem with some PFC campaigns. Hopefully that I'll turn into working hard next week when I fix this issue. But when you search now and you get an answer for the advertiser community, you no longer make it to the actual answer. You go just to the main community page.
I saw this week too.
It drives me crazy. I'm trying to look up everything.
I thought it was just for the question I had.
No, it's for every question. You now cannot make it to the question. And then you get to the community, and I'm like, okay, I don't see it here. The search is worse. So apparently they probably upgraded something or changed something over. You can't find the stuff you need on the search. So then I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go back to Google search. I'm going to find the exact thread name. I'm going to take that exact thread name. I'm going to put it into Google search, into the Google Advertiser community search, and it doesn't pull it up. It's just very cumbersome to find anything, if not impossible.
They've got to fix that.
Yes.
I thought that was just the one I was asking.
It was such a nice feature.
I know.
I just can't do anything. All right, and now it's time for this week's
WH.
And this week's WTH comes from Lucas Shaw on Bloomberg.com. The article is called Bollywood Rapper Sets Viewer Record YouTube Isn't Talking About. Great title, by the way. Mm-hmm. And apparently an Indian rapper named Badasha broke a record with his single Pagal. Pagal?
I think so.
Pagal.
Should we play the song again to confirm?
Okay, yeah, let's play. So apparently an Indian rapper Badasha broke a YouTube record for his single Pagal. And Shep, did you hear the song itself?
Of course.
Okay. What did you think? This is it in the background.
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah, it had a nice beat. They had the translated lyrics on there, and the rap music is not as unsavory as American rap songs.
I thought that Badasha is the pit bull of India.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good. I think that's bad. He just kept saying the name of the song over and over and over again. He was like a pit bull with a dash of black-eyed peas in there. You know, where you count the days of the week and the months of the year or whatever.
Okay, well, let's talk about the video because I love that they brought back like a nice group choreographed dance troupe number. It was great.
Fancy dance moves in there. Mm-hmm. I did enjoy that. But back to the WTH at hand here, Shep. The clip was seen 75 million times in one day, and this broke every record. Badasha broke Taylor Swift's record with his phenomenal music. And you know what? I'll come back to that. Pitbull over Taylor Swift. And it led to some scrutiny because even though he hit this number, he didn't get credit for this number because some of those numbers were deemed to be inflated, though I disagree. I disagree with the fact that they're inflated. People were wondering how he got so many views and broke this record so fast. And it turns out he did so with advertising on YouTube. People thought maybe he paid for people to, just garbage traffic to inflate things. But he used YouTube's advertising to get more views of the video. Now, what happened is YouTube didn't count those views because they came from ads. And took this back, and basically this record that Badasha had won. He earned this. He got the most views.
But after reading the article, I felt like some of the other musicians were doing the ads thing as well, just not to the same level.
I agree. He tried to purposely break a record to make news and have this crown, but he paid for it. This is what YouTube does.
Yeah.
You drive traffic to an ad, you pay for traffic to it. Should I not count a session from Google Analytics because it came from a paid search?
I don't think that the ad should be included in that big trophy that they're giving. They said BTS holds it right now, like the most views in a day. But I don't think it's bad what he's doing. I just don't think they should count it. But we also don't know they're not counting it for Ariana Grande or whoever. Sorry, I hope I'm not triggering Hope. But I would just like a recount with no ads because I would like to see where Taylor Swift stands then.
But what is the point? Why would anybody care?
Because it's about the whole live stream thing really brings people together. Like when the Ariana Grande video came out, me and Hope
Ariana Grande has more people in a live stream than Badasha. Like, what is if you got this many views, you got this many views.
I think it
Taylor
creates
Swift
buzz,
step
though.
up and spend as much money as Badasha does.
It's a whole thing about YouTube wanting to be like they're the music platform. And if they
But the whole point is to allow people to advertise their product.
I think that's fine, but I don't think that should count towards the most streams in a day.
If you get a view, you should be able to have that view. Why is a paid view any different than an organic view? Why is it different?
I just think for this award of the most streams in one day, they should just specify it. Just put the word organic in there.
You have the most streams in one day and have the most organic streams in one day. And you can have Ariana Grande
happy with that.
Or Taylor Swift or whomever else. I don't know who else is even up there. I failed that last.
BTS was a big one.
BTS, back to school?
Yeah, okay. That's them.
Yeah, big sale. I don't know. I mean, we see we're part on this, but a view is a view, man.
I agree in the grand scheme of things, but I just want to know who the real winner is.
It's Badasha. You heard it here first, folks. He had the most. He
deserved it. There were so many people in that video. But it was one of those videos.
You don't deserve it because of the video. You don't deserve it because of the dance moves.
We don't have any true song and dance men or women in our world right now. Like
what?
All the musicians today, just like they're in the middle doing like a little dance move, and then around them are all these serious dancers like really working hard.
What about Usher?
Beyonce is all we have now.
Usher can move.
Yeah, but
Chris Brown can move.
Okay, Chris Brown's problematic, and Usher doesn't have any like great songs right now. It's been a while since Confessions.
But the man can move.
Yeah, but
Okay.
You got to come out. You need both. You need the music and the moves.
So that's all we need.
We only have Beyonce. We need some people to step up to the table. And I think with a little bit of work on his choreography, Barasha could be that guy.
All right. Heard it here first, folks.
And now it's time for this week's
Cool Tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something that we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. And this week's tool is a new tool from PixelMe, and it provides email alerts whenever your competitors launch a Facebook ad campaign, which they won't be able to do if it's crashed.
Yeah.
The new tool is called Ad Inbox Me, and it will send you an alert whenever your competitors launch a new Facebook ad campaign. All you have to do is add the URL of the Facebook page you want to track, connect to the Facebook ad library listing for that page, and that will enable you to see all of their previous ads, which is already cool as it is. And then you can tap Alert Me and add your email, and you'll be notified whenever there's a new addition to that page's ad library listing.
Shep, this is genius.
Sneaky.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
How did I not think about this?
It's cool.
This is phenomenal.
I
I have
wanna
not
try it.
tested this out, just to be clear, but I am going to.
I just want to try it for brands I like to see what they're doing.
Wow. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Not even our competitors. Yeah,
Yeah, I want to see what competitors are doing.
both.
Okay, deal. All right, and that brings us to this week's must-read marketing article of the week. An article so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it on today's show. Shep, I've got two here. One on the more basic to intermediate side and one on the super advanced side. What do you want?
Despite the current temperature in this room, I think we should do both.
Okay. Sold. Okay. All right, so the first article is called The Small Business Guide to Instagram E-Commerce from Akvila DeFazio, and this is over on WordStream, although Akvila is from Advertiser and a former guest on the show. And what Akvila has done is put together a guide about how to get started with Instagram shopping with a nice run-through, a detailed how-to generate sales through not only organic posts, but also ads, how to measure Instagram e-commerce success, and how to begin strategizing for new features. This is one of those things, if at any time down the road you're planning on Instagram, any kind of increase in e-commerce sales, just bookmark it now and think yourself later.
I also want to bookmark it as how to write a how-to guide because it's so nicely laid out and clear.
Oh, and why is that?
She does her intro. She says everything you're going to learn in this, and then it goes through everything step by step. I loved the font size. It's nice and big. I just thought it was great. Great use of pictures. A+.
You can tell she's a Toastmaster. She's got
she is a Toastmaster?
She is, yes. Tell them. It's the tell them approach. You tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. Mm-hmm. She does a great job.
Exactly.
Yes, she's just great all around. And another person that's great all around is our advanced article of the week from Glenn Gabe, at Glenn Gabe on Twitter, from G Squared Interactive. And Glenn has an article called Not, capital N-O-T, Taking the Canonical Hint, how to estimate a low-quality indexing problem by page type using Google Analytics, Search Console, SEMrush, aka SEMrush, and advanced query operators. He does all that and more in the article. He didn't talk about the fact that he used Analytics Edge in there. He should have just thrown that in the title. But he looks at the issue in the cases where you canonical a page, and it's basically saying, go here, we recommend that this is close enough to this other page, and it's a directive that Google may or may not follow to index that page and pass any values to that page. And he looks at when the raw canonical tag is not followed, and how to identify if a page is being indexed, and more importantly, if it's ranking. And this is a brilliant how-to using 4 or 5 tools that can identify any of those pages that are getting traffic and are ranking. so that you can figure out a more permanent solution, a actual directive that Google can follow for some of those pages. So there's lots of this process. Again, this is the advanced one. You asked for it, Shep. Don't blame me, blame Shep. But you get more data than you could normally get from Google Search Console. You use something called Analytics Edge in the Google Search Console API. You pull the data out, you use regex to match it up with Google Analytics, then you use that to match up with SEMrush, aka SEMrush data, and then you can find out what pages are getting traffic and what pages are ranking well and what is actually canonical, so that you can figure out how to remedy the problem. Again, this is a very advanced thing, but it's super cool, and it's a great how-to and a great detailed breakdown that anybody can follow, I promise. Well, you kind of need a few different programs there, but it's worth it if you've got those issues. So thank you, Akvila, and thank you, Glenn.
All right, that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch everything from today's show on marketingoclock.com. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.